By the end of this video, you're gonna get 8 5-minute acting exercises that you can work on from the comfort of your own home at your own personalized and designed pace at a schedule that's gonna work for you. This video is gonna be easy to understand. Welcome everybody to the Actors Academy, the one place where we actually go and make acting simple. I've had my time where I went to drama school and got my BFA training and my MFA training, and I've been able to work on many different great projects with many amazing people, and I wanna share all of my information and knowledge with you today. So when it comes to acting, what is there to actually practice? Well, you got a few things. You here are your instrument. You are your tool. Just like a guitarist has a guitar or a pianist has a piano, an actor has you. You're a vessel. So the three things we're gonna focus on today is how you can practice your voice and your speech, how you can practice using your body, your physicality, and then how you can go and work on developing and creating characters. So all these exercises are gonna be 5 minutes in length, and the beautiful thing is you get to create a schedule that works for you. Some of you are gonna say, hey, I only got 10 minutes in my day to work on my acting. Great, then you can choose 2 of these acting exercises, 5 minutes each. You got 10 minutes right there. In total, with these 8 acting exercises, if you have the time, you're also gonna have a 40-minute practice routine that you can work on at a pace that works for you. So first, when it comes to our voice and speech, what are some things that you can use? One of the big ones that many actors use, and we use this all the time in drama school, and you probably did this even when you were a little kid, it's working on your tongue twisters. The reason we use tongue twisters is because our tongues are actually muscles, but we don't practice them on a daily basis, which is why sometimes people's speeches can become somewhat slurred or people don't enunciate properly. Well, when you have a tongue twister, what it does is it forces you to get the tongue twister right, and it forces your tongue to move in ways that are maybe a little bit uncomfortable. Now, the one thing you have to do when you're working on a tongue twister is you have to make sure that you are trying to enunciate everything that you say. The best way to think about this is think about all your consonants. Make sure that you are hitting the end note, the end of your consonants, the end of the words. There are multiple tongue twisters out there for you to choose from, but I'm gonna give you 3 today. Here's one that we did in drama school. Peter Piper picked a pair of pickled peppers. Hopefully you noticed that I was really trying to over-enunciate what I was saying. I wasn't just saying Peter Piper picked a pair of pickled peppers, but I was really trying to hit every single sound. Now, when you're doing this, you're probably not gonna be able to go through all of your tongue twisters really fast, and that's okay. You actually wanna take your time and gradually build up the speed. The next tongue twister I have for you is red leather, yellow leather. Red leather, yellow leather. Try saying that fast. It's not an easy task, but it's something we always had to do in drama school. And this last tongue twister goes like this. How much wood would a woodchuck chuck if a woodchuck could chuck wood? When you over enunciate and you practice in that way, it will actually help with just your normal everyday speech and when you get a scene to work on. Now, just how we were kind of doing this with the tongue twisters, the over enunciate works with any text that you have. I could give you something from Shakespeare. I could give you the back of a cereal box. It doesn't matter what you are reading. What you're gonna do though is you are going to really over enunciate every single thing that you are saying, and you are gonna sound like a crazy person. You're probably even gonna look like a crazy person. But the beautiful thing about this is that you can work on this at the comfort of your own home. So for example, let's just say hypothetically, I gave you Shakespeare and it was his to be or not to be speech. You are going to really over enunciate this like a crazy person. To be or not to be, that is the question. You are trying to hit all of the consonants. You are also trying to hit all of your vowels. The reason that we work on this over enunciation and that it seems crazy for us in the process is because when we actually then go and begin acting, or we get a scene or a monologue to work on, the over enunciation that we over the top overdo it bleeds in just to our natural work, and that's ultimately what we're aiming for. Now, the third thing you can do to work in this category is focusing more on the voice, which is finding your vocal scales. Your voice has a range. It can go low and it can also go really high, but you have to be able to play with this range and see where your range lies. If you had a piano, there are so many keys on that piano that you can play, but typically in our real life, everyday life, we only play with a small amount of keys. A lot of times people are really reserved and they don't play with the full scale and melody that their voice has to offer. And one of the ways to do this is just to start really low and then just try to lower your voice as much as you can. So you go low, 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 low like this, and you start off low and then you gradually go higher and 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 higher. And ultimately what you're doing is you're playing with your voice and you're saying, okay, I can play with my voice being down here, and I can also play with my voice being up here, and I'm just playing on the scale and the melody of my voice. Because when you see an actor in conversation, they're constantly changing and fluctuating. Sometimes when they're excited, maybe they get a little bit higher up here, and maybe sometimes when a moment gets more serious, it's down here and it's right in this register of their voice. The point is for you, yourself, you need to realize that you have a huge scale that you can play on, but you got to play those keys. So these are 3 exercises easy that you can do, 5 minutes each, to work on your voice and your speech. Now let's go ahead and talk about the body and your physicality. So as I've mentioned before, our body is part of our tool. It's our instrument as an actor. It's a very big one that we really can see. Our bodies tell a story. You know by how my face is, you know by how my body is, how I feel, or you at least build an assumption of that. If you've been to school before, there's many different types of people in school. There's the people in school who seem really confident and self-assured, and then there's other people in school who seem really shy and nervous, and maybe they don't know how to talk to people. But how you hold your body, everything you do, tells a story. So what I want you to do to be able to work on this is to literally go online and find some clips of an actor that you enjoy, that you like. Find a character that they've played before. Maybe it's somebody confident, maybe it's somebody who's arrogant, maybe it's somebody who's shy, maybe it's somebody who's flirtatious, whatever it may be. You are going to find that actor and you're just going to turn the volume down and you're going to watch that video clip just looking at the visuals. And what I want you to realize is, how does that individual move, the actor you've chosen? Do they move quick? Do they move fast? Do they use more of their hands? Do they nod a lot? What are they doing actually with their body? And depending on the character you choose, you're going to find that their body's doing a lot of different things. For example, if you chose Johnny Depp and you said, hey, I'm going to choose his character from Willy Wonka, and I'm also going to choose Jack Sparrow, well then that's going to be very different characters, very different things they're doing with their bodies. And that's what the beautiful thing about this is, there's so many actors to choose from that you can literally say, you know what, I'm going to see what Leonardo DiCaprio does. I'm going to try and copy his character from this movie. I'm going to do Brad Pitt today. I'm going to do Viola Davis, whatever it may be. And this is going to help you realize that you have a body to use, and you're also going to start learning how your body tells a story. This is one of the most vital things that an actor can do, because a lot of times, especially when an actor goes on stage, they stand there and they don't know what to do. They're stiff, or they're in front of the camera and they don't do anything. But if you don't do anything, you're going to be a nothing character. Your character's going to be boring for us. And a casting director, an audience, a director, what they want to see is they want to see the life of a character come forward. And we only get to see that when everything is working with our voices, yes, but also with our bodies and our physicalities and how we use them. And this is a simple acting exercise that if you work on just this 5 minutes every single day, you're going to understand your body so much more, and that's going to come through when you do your scenes. The second thing to do to work on your body is to find lead points. If you see people walking down the street, if you ever just sit down in a park and just people watch, you will see how people walk is completely different. How they lead in their life is different. Meaning, some people when they walk, they jerk their head forward and they're leading from their nose. It's almost as if a string was pulling them from their nose and that's what's guiding them forward. Some people are with their chest. Some people are very up, as if their chest is leading them throughout their day. Many people have many different things. Some people it's their hips, some people it's chest, some people it's their head, their nose, many different aspects. What I want you to do for 5 minutes a day is just to practice different leading points and see how that affects you, how that would affect a character you had to play. If you had to play somebody, for example, who was really confident, well, does it make sense for you to go and lead with your nose? Or does it make sense for you to go and lead with your shoulders? Maybe not. But maybe if you went and led with your chest, it would be a little different. It starts to feel right for you compared to other things may feel wrong. But the point is that you start to understand your body more, and you only start to understand it the more you practice with it and the more you work on it. So this is a great one just to find leading points for yourself. Now we're down to our last 3 acting exercises where you're going to be working on developing your characters. For this one, we're going to be focusing on our breath. The reason our breath is really important is because it's the kinesthetic response and a feeling that we can all connect to. We've all had our breath since the day that we were born. Now, the best way to think about this and the easiest way to tap into this is if you participate in this exercise with me. I want you to close your eyes. Just close them right now. And I'm going to tell you to think about an emotional state. And you get to choose it. It can be happiness, sadness, anger, excitement, joy, whatever it may be. I want you to think about a time in your life where you fully experienced that feeling. Just think about that. Remember it. Try to go through every single detail. Now what I want you to do is to pick a second emotion, different from the one that you've already chosen. So don't have 2 happiness next to each other. And think about that moment. Every single moment that happened in that time. Where were you? What were you doing? Now I want you to think about, how was your breath? How was your breath in that first emotion? Was it shallow? Was it fast? Was it quick? Was it deep? Did you feel it get caught in your throat or in your chest? And now think about that second emotion. How was your breath during that period in time? What you're probably going to find is that they're very different, because the way that we breathe when we're sad is completely different than how we breathe when we're happy and joyful. And it's also different than when we're scared and fearful. And it's also different than when we're angry. Our breath is something that we've all experienced before. One of the easiest ways to get into our characters is to realize, okay, if our character is in a certain emotional state, whether it be happiness, sadness, whatever the emotional state is, if we can find the breath for that character, that can be a way for us to tap in to that moment. What you just did right now, this is part of that 5-minute exercise where you close your eyes and you just think about the time and you think about the breath work. The second way to work on developing your characters is to record yourself, because now we all have iPhones, and then review your recordings. Now this obviously is going to require you to have a piece of text, so to have a short little monologue would be best for you. And all you have to do is put up your phone and record yourself doing the monologue. I've done this so many times, and what I've been able to find is I might perform a monologue one way, but then I record myself and then I see what I want to change and do different, and then I re-record it. And then I look at it again and say, oh, I want to change this and add this in. You're going back and forth. You're doing the same thing that a coach is doing, except you're coaching yourself, and you'll find that the end product that you get for your monologue is, wow, this is actually something that I really enjoy and that I really like, because you're constantly going back and forth, reviewing it, making it better, reviewing it and making it better. And the more often that you do this for yourself, the more you're going to get used to what you do that works as an actor and what you do that doesn't work. What are those things that makes it seem unbelievable? Our third point for developing your characters is using improv. You're going to find that improv can actually be your best friend as an actor. Now, improv is not just something that we do just for shits and giggles to make people laugh. Improv can actually be a tool that you use to make even your dramatic work seem more honest and believable. Now, the reason that I love improv is because you're going to get text one day, and the text that you're going to be reading is going to be something that you say, wow, this is not honest for me. This is not how I would say it, or just doesn't roll off the tongue well enough for you. That's okay. What I like to do though, is I like to look at my text and say, okay, if I could do this same text, but I could do it in my words, in any way that I would like to do, I'm gonna perform my monologue in that way. And when I do that, I start to find that I start to act more naturally, and I start to find the nuances better within that scene. And once I do that, it's easier for me to transgress what I did with my improv onto the actual lines, because there's certain cadences in my voice, how I use my voice, where I found the joke in the scene, or where the scene got serious. That's easier for me to play when I give in to the improv. When you improv, you find the nuances that you have that you get to bring into your characters. So now you have 8 acting exercises, 5 minutes each, that you can do from the comfort of your own home at a pace that works for you. Let's say you don't got 40 minutes to do all of these exercises, but you got 15 and you're like, hey, I really need to work on my voice and my speech. Then you work on these 3 here. If you're like saying, hey, I need to work on developing my characters, then you got 3 over here. Or you can mix them up however you want to use them. But the beautiful thing is that you can work on this at a pace that works just for you. Acting doesn't have to be complicated. We can make it easy for ourselves. A lot of people try to complicate it. Our goal is always to make it as easy as possible for you. So I hope this video helped you all. Make sure you subscribe to the channel so you stay up to date with everything. Give this video a thumbs up if it helped you all. And if you're interested in our 10-hour acting masterclass, our 2.0 version, to really enhance your acting, to take your acting to a professional level, that's always going to be linked down in the description down below and also in the comment section. Again, that course you will also be able to work at your own personalized and designed pace. And then if you like this video, then you are all going to love this video right over here. I'll see you later. Bye-bye.